Yeah. Hair flip. Yeah, I'm a badass bitch. I don't like it. Hair flip. Yeah. Oh my god. So you guys should be happy. Oh my goodness. Hair flip. But anyways, hair flip. And hair flipping on these hoes. Hi.
You catching my drill, DJ Carnage? If you catching my drill.
Hello everyone and welcome back to your boy SeanDavieWay. We have recently hit 77K and I just want to thank you all for your support. We are growing and growing and growing and I could not be more thankful. So welcome to all the new subscribers. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Today we will be surviving Kodak Black. There has been a lot of controversial situations with Kodak Black. He is a great artist, but among that he's been through his trials and tribulations. So we're gonna get right into it. So without holding you any further, let's go. Kodak Black. Born as Dayusin Octave, born on June 11th, 1997, better known by his stage name, Kodak Black, is an American rapper. He gained initial recognition with his single, No Flockin', released in 2014. His debut album, Painting Pictures, in 2017, peaked at number 3 on the US Billboard 200 and included the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 single, Tunnel Vision. Black's second album, Dying to Live, came out in 2018 and peaked at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was supported by the single ZZ, featuring Travis Scott and Offset, which peaked at number 2 on the Hot 100. Kodak Black's career has been marked by periods of mainstream success as well as public controversies and legal issues. His legal troubles began in middle school and spiked significantly through the late 2010s, and in 2019, Black was arrested for weapons possession and sentenced to almost 4 years in federal prison. His sentence was commuted by President Donald Trump in 2021. While incarcerated, he released his third studio album, Bill Israel, in 2020. His fourth studio album, Back for Everything, followed in 2022 and contains the hit single Super Gremlin as a bonus track. Kodak Black was born Dayusin Octave on June 11th, 1997 in Pompano Beach, Florida. The son of a Haitian immigrant, Marcelin Octave, he later legally changed his name to Bill Kahan Capri. Kodak Black was raised by his mother in Golden Acres, a public housing project in Pompano Beach. Kodak Black started rapping in elementary school and began to go to a local trap house after school to record his music. He spent his youth reading thesauruses and dictionaries to further his vocabulary. Kodak Black frequently participated in brawls and breaking and entering with his friends. He was expelled from school in the 5th grade for fighting and was arrested for auto theft while in middle school. About his upbringing, he said he was given 2 options: sell drugs with a GUN on his hip or rap. From the age of 6, Kodak Black used the name Black. He also used the nickname Lil Black. When he joined Instagram, he chose to use the username Kodak Black because you know Kodak, that's pictures and all that. This later became his stage name when he started to rap, and a name favored by his fans. In 2014, Kodak Black stated that he was working towards his high school diploma at Blanche Ely High School in Pompano Beach. During his incarceration, Kodak Black began to identify as a Hebrew Israelite after a priest who conducts prison ministry studied scripture with him. He later filed to change his name to Bill Kahan Blanco, with Kahan supposedly being an alternate spelling of Cohen, a term used in Judaism to refer to priests who descend from the prophet Aaron, the brother of Moses. On May 2, 2018, he legally changed his name from Diusin Octave to Bill Kahan Capri. In June 2018, Kodak Black earned his GED while in prison. So we've learned that Kodak is a Hebrew Israelite, and on top of that, he is Haitian. He was raised by his mother, and he had a very troublesome history with the police especially. So let's get into a little bit of that, and then we'll dive into things that are more current. So let's start with Kodak's legal issues. Kodak Black was placed in a youth detention center 3 times in 1 year, and then placed on probation. In October 2015, he was arrested in Pompano Beach and charged with robbery, battery, and false imprisonment of a child, and possession of cannabis, but he was later released. In April 2016, Kodak Black was arrested in Hallandale Beach, Florida, and charged with possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis, and fleeing from police officers. The following month of May 2016, he was arrested in Broward County, Florida, and charged with armed robbery and false imprisonment. He was detained in custody. Kodak Black was released from jail in Florida, where he was transported to Florence, South Carolina to face charges of SA. According to the female victim who reported the incident to her school nurse, she had attended a February 2016 performance by Kodak Black at Treasure City in Florence, after which she accompanied him to his hotel room, where he alleged to have told her he couldn't help himself as he tore off her clothes, bit her repeatedly, and raped'd her as she screamed for help. Kodak was released from custody in South Carolina on December 1st, 2016 after posting a $100,000 bond, but returned to court on February 8th, 2017. About Kodak Black, the Miami News Times asked, is he the product of a larger societal problem, having been raised on a steadily diet of misogynistic rap lyrics? Within hours of his release, he recorded and released There He Go, a single which mentions his release from jail. In April 2017, Kodak Black was indicted by a grand jury in South Carolina and was scheduled to go on trial in April 2019 in Florence, South Carolina, on a charge of first-degree criminal sexual conduct. This was later postponed. Also in April 2017, he appeared in court in Florida, where his anger management counselor, Ramona Sanchez, spoke about him disrupting her class. Sanchez said he constantly was burping during her class, and when he was asked to leave, he refused. When Sanchez threatened to call 911, he grabbed her phone and her wrist. The counselor recommended that Kodak Black participate in individual therapy instead of group therapy. That's not the only thing that was going on in 2017. In January 2017, Kodak Black broadcast an Instagram Live video of himself in a Washington, D.C. hotel room with several other men, while a lone woman performed fellatio on all of them. Kodak Black's Instagram account hit a record high during that broadcast. The rapper later posted a message on Twitter about the incident reading, "If I could change, I swear I would. I tried everything, but I'm just so hood." Florida rapper Kodak Black faced the wrath of Twitter last night after broadcasting extremely NSFW footage of a woman performing fellatio on him and several other men in a hotel room. DJ Academics reported the news on his Twitter account. Kodak, who was scheduled to perform that night at Echo Stage in Washington, D.C., faces SA charges in South Carolina from a previous incident that happened in a hotel room. As expected, many people were enraged, asking for Kodak's Instagram account to be revoked. Kodak Black goes on IG Live and shows a woman by herself, just one woman, in a room of 8 men, with Kodak being the 8th, giving fellatio to all of these men under Kodak's orders. So basically, Kodak told her to give everybody in the room fellatio, and the woman did it. Now, we don't know if she felt pressured or anything like that, but she ended up doing it. With that being said, Boosie's Instagram got taken away because of the same thing. It wasn't as many men, it was just him that it was happening to, but that's the reason IG took away his account. I really don't understand why IG let Kodak get away with it when it was 7 men having this happen and he was live the entire time. So I just find that a little crazy. Why take Boosie's account away if you're not going to take Kodak's? Just to show you that Kodak is definitely getting special privilege over other people. On top of that, he is still facing SA allegations and a case in South Carolina. So once again, it's just not a good look. You're facing SA charges against a young lady in South Carolina, and on top of that, you have one woman in a room giving 8 men fellatio. It just doesn't look good. So let's jump back into the case in South Carolina against the charges that he has. Kodak Black has avoided prison in a South Carolina SA case against him by pleading guilty to a lesser charge Wednesday. The rapper, real name Bill Capri, was accused of raping a teenage girl in a Florence hotel room after a 2016 concert, outlets reported. According to the prosecutors, Black pushed the girl against the wall and onto a bed, biting her neck and breast during the altercation. The Associated Press reported the victim told Black to stop, but he didn't. Authorities found out about the alleged RAPE after the girl told a school nurse the next day, the outlet reported, and the nurse called the police. Standing in a Florence County courthouse Wednesday, Black pleaded guilty to first-degree assault and was given a 10-year suspended sentence and put on 18 months of probation, TMZ reported. If he goes the full 18 months without violating the terms of his probation, Black won't spend any time behind bars. When you have money, it is so much easier for you to get away with breaking the law. A lot of rich celebrities, especially rappers, feel that they are above the law. This young lady was SA'd by Kodak Black. He even pleaded guilty to it, and just because he pleaded to a lesser charge does not mean that he's still not pleading guilty to what he did to her. If Kodak was innocent, he would have took this all the way to trial and beat this because he is innocent. There are a lot of people that are falsely accused. But in this situation, he is not being falsely accused, even basically admitting it himself. I feel so bad for this young lady. This young lady didn't want any money. She was not requesting any funds or anything for pain and suffering or anything like that. She just wanted Kodak to be brought to justice. And how despicable and disgusting of him to look this young lady in the eye and say this. Black spoke to the victim who was watching the proceedings online. And this is his quote. "I apologize this happened, and I am hopeful we can all move forward." That is one crazy thing to say to this young lady that you have traumatized and tormented, to say, "I apologize that all this happened. Can we just move forward?" What? Crazy. There were rumors circulating that this young lady was requesting finances for what happened to her. And it's completely understandable, but it's not true. She didn't want any financial compensation. She wanted Kodak to go to jail for what he did to her. This is a teenager this happened to. Come on now. She was at high school when this all came out. She went to the nurse's office due to things that was happening to her, pain that she was feeling, and just so happened to break down and tell the nurse what happened to her. The nurse, being a mandated reporter, called the police and told the police what happened, and that's how charges got brought up on Kodak Black. So the rumors that were going around saying that this was just a money grab is the furthest thing from the truth. Who confirmed that? Kodak himself. He went on Twitter to say, "Just wanted to get this SHIT over with," and adding, "I ain't have to come off no money. So that means that he didn't have to pay her anything. I didn't have to come off any money. I didn't have to give her anything, which is 10 times worse with him just making it seem as if like, oh, well, I just got off this scot-free, like rubbing it in, like bragging about the fact that he just got away with RAPE. This is insane. So if you support Kodak Black, I guess, but I could never listen to somebody that is bragging about the fact that he did something to a teenage girl, assaulted her, and brought her through all of this trauma and is bragging about getting away with it. How can you have a little sister or a daughter or a cousin, you know, anything like that that's a female, a mother, and be okay with this man bragging about getting away with what he did? Would you want that to happen to somebody you know? Would you want this to happen to your daughter? Imagine you sitting there with your daughter online listening to this court date and him being tried and whatnot, and him pleading guilty and just saying like, oh, I'm sorry this happened. I just hope we can all move on. You would be enraged. So to still support Kodak Black, especially knowing this information, you should definitely look at yourself twice in the mirror. 18, Kodak Black was arrested inside of a Pembroke Pines, Florida home in January 2018 on multiple charges stemming from an Instagram live feed video showing him passing cannabis and a GUN around a small child. He initially faced 7 felony charges, including child neglect, grand theft of a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and cannabis possession. On February 22nd, 2018, 3 charges against Kodak Black were dropped, and he pleaded not guilty to the remaining 2. On April 17, he pleaded not guilty to the remaining charges, possession of the firearm by a convicted felon and possession of cannabis, and was sentenced to 364 days in prison with a credit for time served. He was released on August 18th, 2018. Kodak Black is a felon, so that means he's not allowed to be around any firearms, any cannabis, or anything like that. He's not allowed to do it, even if it's legal where he is. He's still not allowed. He is forbidden to do any of these things. Not only was he on live with a firearm, knowing he's a felon and should not be doing so, but he was also doing this around a small child, loaded weapons, all of this stuff around children. It's literally right in your face. Why is this okay? How can you support a man that does things like this, especially around small children? He does not care about kids. I mean, think about earlier, he had charges of holding a child against their will. Basically, kidnapping. This is not good. Like, he's kidnapped children before, held children against their will. Why is this okay? Once again, when you have money, you are allowed to get away with things that normal people would not be. And I know some people think like, oh, well, just because certain things happen, it doesn't mean that Kodak doesn't care about children. He has his own. So let's get into how he truly does feel about children. We're going to get into some other kids, and then we're going to get into his own child. Kodak Black gets dragged on Twitter for making fun of a disabled child who died. Honestly, whatever Kodak Black does should never come as a surprise. He is always doing something controversial, but he never backs away from it. This is how a lot of people win, because they own their stuff. But this is very extreme, even for Kodak Black, and fans are really going in on him. While Kodak is known for doing and saying many outrageous things, there are still limits, or there should be. Children should always be off limits. Kodak Black took to Twitter this morning where he mocked a disabled child. He made fun of the size of the child's head when the child clearly has a condition. This tweet has led fans on Twitter to go in on the Florida rapper. So I would love to hear from you in the chat in the video now, or if you're listening to the playback, to comment underneath the video and let us know how you feel about Kodak, especially if you are a fan of him. Is this okay that he comes forward and makes fun of a child with a condition? And even when he finds out that he has a condition, he still makes fun of him. He does not care. How can you care about children if you are willing to do and say the things that you have done and said? You've kidnapped them. You have done things with firearms and cannabis and things like that in front of these children. You are making fun of disabled children. I mean, where's the line? Does the line ever draw? I mean, he's done these things to teenage girls. Just so many different things that he's done and people still support him is jaw-dropping to me. I'm very surprised, and it's sad because Kodak does have good music. I'm unfortunately one of the people that cannot separate the artist from the music. I cannot separate the fact that he's done all of these horrendous things to people, but I'm still gonna bob along to his music. No, I just don't support him. You absolutely can. I'm not saying or trying to make this a hate video against him, but he's done a lot of things that have been very upsetting to a lot of people, and me in particular, very upset by this behavior. So I would love to hear what y'all think. Would you make fun of a disabled kid? Is it okay that Kodak Black is online making fun of disabled children? Kodak Black is again at the center of backlash after sharing a photo on Instagram that appears to show a woman twerking on his 6-year-old son while Yak seems to encourage him. Last Wednesday, December 22nd, Kodak posted a series of photos from an apparent baby shower for his unborn daughter Yuri on the way. The South Florida rapper went all out for the white and pink gold themed event. However, one photo has people calling Kodak's cancellation. One picture shows a woman in a skin-tight dress bent over appearing to twerk in front of the rapper's son, King. Kodak is present in the photo and seems to be encouraging the situation as he holds his son's hands in the air. The photo flew under the radar but recently went viral, with people commenting about the image on social media. I wish cancel culture was real, because then maybe we would find out about Kodak being a predator for the first time and would put an end to his power before he SAs his own son. One person sounded off on Twitter, possibly referencing Kodak being accused of SA in 2016, charges that he pleaded down to assault. He also has a daughter on the way, praying for her. There's nothing wrong with what's happening, but who it's being done to, period. Someone else posted. Once again, how is this okay? Why is it all right for Kodak to be having this grown woman do sexual things in front of a 6-year-old child in front of a party full of adults? Celebrities are always enabled by people because people fear not having them in their lives. Fear whatever they're doing for them within that moment, that they will no longer do it if they call them out on the wrongdoings that they do. This is wrong, and there are way too many adults here to be letting this occur. Where is this young man King's mother? Where's his grandmother, aunt, uncle, anybody to say, look, this is not okay. This is a 6-year-old and this is over-sexualizing a situation with a child being present. How can you care about your child if you're willing to let a grown woman do these things in front of an adolescent? It is not okay. I hope you all enjoyed. We will be back with part 2. Things get way deeper than what we have already discussed. There is a deep rabbit hole that goes with Kodak Black. I believe for sure that Kodak Black should be a rapper that is canceled. I do not believe he has a positive image, even with the misogynistic rapping and all of that. Okay, I can overlook those things. I can overlook lyrics, but actions I will not overlook, and I don't think that you should either. So once again, I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all on part 2. Until then, bye.
She's great. I bad her, but you know what I'm saying? I don't really like black girls like that. Some sort of kind of Taylor Swift great. She's great. I bad her, but you know what I'm saying? I don't really like black girls like that. Some sort of kind of Taylor Swift great.
with confidence.